All right. Today, we're going to dive into a threat that's, kind of quietly looming over our entire digital world. We're talking everything from bank accounts to cryptocurrencies. It's a race against a completely new kind of machine. And the stakes, they literally couldn't be higher. Just think about that for a second. Your passwords, your secure bank transactions, your private messages, all of it just cracked wide open, all at the same time. I know. It sounds like something straight out of a sci-fi movie, but it's a future that some of the world's smartest people are preparing for as we speak. So, what's the key to all this potential chaos? It's something called quantum computing. This is a revolutionary technology that plays by a completely different set of rules than the phones in our pockets. And with that incredible power comes an unprecedented ability to shatter the very codes that protect our digital lives. Okay, so before we can even get to the solutions, we first need to really wrap our heads around the sheer scale of this problem. What exactly is the quantum threat, and why does it have the entire cryptography world on such high alert? Let's try to put this into perspective, okay? To break the kind of encryption that secures Bitcoin today, the world's most powerful supercomputer would need, well, billions of years. It's effectively impossible. But a powerful quantum computer could, theoretically, knock out that same job in just a few hours. Yeah, you heard that right, hours. The secret weapon here is something called Shor's algorithm. You can think of it as the master key. It's a quantum algorithm that's uniquely brilliant at solving the exact kind of math problems that all our modern encryption is built on. It doesn't just guess faster, it fundamentally changes the rules of the game. So, what's actually at risk here? What are we talking about in real terms? Well, in the world of Bitcoin alone, it's estimated that around 1.7 million coins are just sitting in addresses that are vulnerable to this kind of attack. That is a very significant number. Now, before you panic, it's really important to know this doesn't affect the entire network. This vulnerability is actually concentrated in about 8% of all Bitcoin, mostly in older legacy-style wallets. And these specific wallets, the public key, think of it like your bank account number, is openly visible on the blockchain before you even make a transaction. A quantum attacker could see that public key and basically work backwards to figure out your private key, your PIN, giving them total control. Your addresses are smarter. They keep that public key hidden until you actually send something. So it's a serious problem for sure, but right now it's a contained one. So with this threat kind of looming on the horizon, new projects are starting to pop up with a defense-first mindset. One of them is InterLink, and their whole approach to quantum security, well, it starts in a really interesting and very human place. You see, before they even touch post-quantum cryptography, InterLink is laser-focused on identity. Their primary mission is to build this massive, decentralized network where every single participant is a verified, unique human being. No bots, no fake accounts, the whole shebang. And they are not thinking small here. I mean, look at this number. They're not just aiming for a small niche community. Their goal is to onboard 1 billion real people. The idea is to create what they hope will be the foundational identity layer for a much more trustworthy Web3. So, how are they planning to do it? Well, it breaks down into 3 core components. First, there's the InterLink ID, which uses biometrics to prove you're you and you're unique. Then there's the InterLink app, which is your gateway into this whole human-only ecosystem. And finally, the InterLink Chain, the blockchain that secures it all. The core idea is that real security starts with knowing you're actually dealing with a real person. Okay, so you have a network of verified humans. That's cool. But how does that defend against a quantum computer? Well, it's by building a quantum shield into its foundation from day one. And this is where InterLink's vision for identity connects directly with its plan for security. See, this is the key difference. Unlike established networks like Bitcoin that would need a massive, super complex, and probably messy upgrade, InterLink is being proactive. They're building quantum-resistant security right from the ground up, not as some afterthought. They've put together a dedicated team of cryptographers and are aligning all their work with the highest global security standards set by organizations like the U.S. National Institute of Standards and Technology, or NIST. And this brings us to the big buzzword, post-quantum cryptography, or PQC for short. This isn't just a patch or an upgrade, it's a whole new class of encryption. These are algorithms built on math problems that we believe are incredibly hard for both our current computers and future quantum computers to solve. It's a whole new kind of lock. This also shows they're committed to proven solutions. InterLink isn't trying to invent their own secret cryptography from scratch, which is usually a bad idea. Instead, they're focusing on algorithms already vetted and standardized by NIST, like a method called Crystal's Kyber. It's based on something called lattice-based cryptography. Now, the simplest way to think of it is like a gigantic, three-dimensional grid of points. Finding a secret path between 2 points is easy if you have the map, but for a computer trying to guess, it's like finding a single, specific grain of sand on an entire beach. That's the complexity that keeps it safe. So a brand new, totally quantum-proof system sounds perfect, right? Well, not so fast. With any new technology, especially in the world of security, there are always trade-offs. We have to look at the practical reality of actually implementing PQC. This is the million-dollar question that any project in this space really has to answer. Moving to PQC isn't a free lunch. It comes with performance costs and complexities that have very real-world consequences. So here's the trade-off. On one hand, you get this incredible, future-proof security that protects your assets for the long haul. But on the other hand, it comes at a cost. PQC algorithms often need much larger keys and way more computational power. So while your money is safer, the data for a single transaction might be bigger, and your phone has to work harder to process it. For a sleek mobile payment app that needs to be instant, or a tiny smart home device with limited memory, that performance hit can be a huge engineering challenge to overcome. Which, of course, brings us to the ultimate question. How soon do we actually need to worry about any of this? Is this a problem for tomorrow or for our grandkids? Well, expert predictions vary, but they paint a pretty clear picture. One analysis gives a 1 in 7 chance of a major breakthrough by 2026. That jumps to a 50-50 chance by 2031. The general consensus seems to be that a truly threatening quantum computer is probably 10 to 20 years away. So not an immediate crisis, but it's definitely on the horizon. And this quote from a CoinShares analysis really just sums it up perfectly. The sky isn't falling, but this is a foreseeable engineering problem that needs to be addressed. It's a marathon, not a sprint. So let's just recap the key takeaways here. First, the quantum threat is a long-term challenge, not an overnight emergency, so no need to panic. Second, proactive projects like InterLink are already building solutions, but they have to navigate those serious performance trade-offs. And importantly, established networks like Bitcoin aren't just sitting ducks. They can and they likely will evolve to defend themselves. The race is officially on. And that leaves us with a final thought. As technology accelerates at this crazy pace, the very idea of being future-proof becomes a moving target, doesn't it? Projects like InterLink are making a big bet on proactive security, and it's a good reminder that in the digital world, the strongest foundations are the ones built for a future we can't even fully see yet.